additives, taking on the food industry. That's something part of his platform. It's taken off online with the Make America Healthy Again movement. So
now, processed food is usually bad. Processing isn't what makes food bad, though. Like the chemicals in the food, the things, the molecules can make you more or less healthy, but processing can remove or add the harmful molecule. Like processing can make food more healthy. Like we process milk when we pasteurize it to eliminate a bunch of the pathogens that can be harmful to us, that our digestive system, our you know, enzymes and bacteria can't really handle. Like basically everything we do, milling grain into flour is processing, right? It's not the processing that hurts us. It's like what goes into it.
I asked Senator Sanders if that's an area where he could potentially work with the Trump administration if RFK Jr. is confirmed.
I think you have a food industry concerned about their profits, could care less about the health of the American people. I think they have to be taken on. I think, on the other hand, when Mr. Kennedy talks about taking fluoride out of our water system, I think what the scientific community will tell you that would be a disaster in terms of dental health in this country.
This is a strategy that he's engaged in for a long time. He's been very consistent with it. He tries to get in with the media by jumping off of bad statements and saying, oh, you're completely correct. Now, in addition to your bad policy, what if we did a good policy as well? Like, what if instead of your shitty, retarded idea, we did a based, red-pilled idea, such as the one I am about to propose to you now? You know, he's been basically doing this for like 4 times as long as I've been alive. And I respect him for it.
His views on vaccine are in very wrong in so many ways. So we will see how
not even getting
unfolds.
into it.
So I think what he's saying about the food industry makes sense to me. A lot of other things that he's saying are extremely dangerous.
So I tried to press Senator Sanders on if he's made up his mind about President-elect Trump's health picks, how he's preparing for the confirmation process ahead. Take a listen.
I've seen it said the ultra-processed designation has to do with much. The problem with the ultra-processed designation is that very much like foods being called natural or non-GMO, it's a meaningless descriptor that has no bearing on the food's health that corporations will take advantage of to sell you food slop for piggies while calling it like organic, all natural. Like these mean nothing. If you're buying food that says it's organic, that means nothing, literally nothing. There's no legal requirement. It's like it's like how there's no legal requirement for being called like a nutritionist, you know? There's no law or designation there. Anyone can I could be a nutritionist. There's no legal, like it would be illegal for me to call myself an MD, but I could call myself a nutritionist, you know? Anything can call themselves organic or natural. So my issue is that, like, if you want food to be healthy, if you want to care about the health of the food that you eat, you look at the back of the food and it will tell you, because we have pretty good laws when it comes to disclosing what's in our food. You know that, right? In America, we've got pretty good ones. There are countries out there that have way worse laws when it comes to like the obligations of a corporation to disclose what is contained within it, at least for now. Yeah, soon RFK will change that, I assume. But for now, we have good laws determining that. You can see everything that's in the food. You turn it around, you look to see what's in it, and mostly I think you're looking at added sugars and trans fats. I'm sorry, transgender people. Organic has a definition, but nothing to do with how healthy food is, just whether it used fertilizers or not. Oh, it's fucking... Spices, natural flavors, artificial flavors are allowed ingredient labels with no further elaboration. Yeah, natural flavors, artificial flavors. What the does that even mean? Bro, it's all chemicals. You can synthetically or organically produce a flavoring. It doesn't necessarily mean the chemical is different. It's just, like, it doesn't mean anything. It means literally nothing. When Bernie uses the term ultra-processed, he's referring to the overloading of foods with sugars and manufactured additives. Yeah, well, I think then people should say that. Also, Bernie didn't say ultra-processed. The NBC lady did. Or CBS lady. Yeah, CBS lady. That's what it means? No, it's not. You can have foods that have been processed extensively that are healthy. If the problem is the added sugar... Listen, don't you think if the problem is added sugars, wouldn't it make more sense to say, hey, the problem is added sugars, that is a number you can literally look at on the back of the food? Wouldn't it make more sense to use a term that is not only perfectly descriptive rather than the nebulous, easily abusable, ultra-processed, and have one that corresponds to a literal numerical designation on the back? You can literally just look at it, turn it around, added sugars. Why fixate on just added sugars? Added oils are bad too. Well, I mean, it's different, but that's also on the back. I mean, you can just talk about that. It's all there, you know.
We are preparing, and we're going to be prepared to ask the right questions. And it's not only the confirmation hearings, it will be discussions that we have behind closed doors as well.
At this point, have you made up your mind, or you're going to go through the process? Any other health-related, as the chair of health, are there any other health-related?
On the list of important sugars, the highest, but things like salt and preservatives are also up there. Yeah, but the nice thing, again, salt, sodium, you can literally look at the back. Like, you can make judgments about what is or isn't healthy based on numerical measures, not this nebulous ultra-processed bullshit. And also, salt and preservatives have a purpose. Like, there is a legitimate use case for preservatives in our food. Like, it would be bad if a ton of food went bad before it got eaten because it would just, we didn't use preservatives are like lifesavers, literally. But added sugars aren't. Added sugars are literally just thrown in there to make the food more addictive. Like, for the most part, when foods are like, when a loaf of white bread is pumped full of added sugars, it is to make it yum yum candy sweet for you. And give more money to dentists, I guess. You know, like adding preservatives to food. Yeah, dude, preserve that shit. I hate it when I get food that immediately goes bad. White and brown bread taste the same anyway. Incorrect. Brown bread tastes much better. White bread has nothing on rye or pumpernickel. Absolutely nothing. White bread, it's like, oh, yum, sponge, sweet sponge bread that I can compress into a solid sphere and roll around in my mouth, versus the, you know, delicious, rich, textured bite of pumpernickel bread, which is much healthier, has fiber, lower cal per bite, because without the added sugar, or at least much less added sugar. Rye tastes like shit, you're both wrong. Potato bread is supreme. Potato bread is also loaded with added sugars. Potato bread is what I'm talking about when I say white bread. Like, that's also in the category. Rye has so many more vitamins. It does. And did you know it also stays fresh in your cupboard longer, in your pantry? One of the reasons mold spreads so quickly on white bread is because that shit is like fertile territory for it. It's literally moist sugar bread. Like, you're opening the doors up to them, you know? Meanwhile, if you're eating like Boris's brown bread hunk, like a chunk of it, you have to knock a block off. You need like a pick to get in it. You're eating, like gnawing at it, you know? Mold can't sink its teeth into that.
Agency picks that you're concerned about?
Well, I think I know Kennedy somewhat over the years. I do not know his other picks, so I'm going to have to sit down and talk with him.
Bernie does reference ultra-processed food multiple times. I hate that designation, man. Yeah, I haven't seen the full Senate hearing.
Evidence, including testimony that we have heard right here in this committee, that these foods are deliberately designed to be addictive, similar to cigarettes and alcohol, and lead to a higher rate of type 2 diabetes. Shockingly,
literally, like, what if food companies just poisoned people because it made them more money because the poison was tasty? Like, it's just crazy that it's legal.
According to a study published in the British Medical Journal, ultra-processed foods make up an incredible 73%
I don't endorse this
of our nation's food supply. Bottom line, much of the food that we as Americans are now consuming are making us unhealthy and are contributing to the fact that our life expectancy is significantly lower than that of many other wealthy countries. None of this is happening by accident. The food in
He's right.
The other thing I think that's important is Trump over the years, and Kennedy himself, has talked about as a health problem the fact that we pay by far the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs.
I've heard that.
And if I'm not mistaken, Kennedy has talked about the need for Americans not to pay more than the people in other countries. I think that's exactly right. And I hope Trump keeps his word in terms of going forward in something that he has talked about for years, substantially lowering the cost of prescription drugs in this country.
Major, as you know, though, the political reality going into next year.
I do fully support, like, piggybacking off this rhetoric as much as possible. Of course, we all know RFK Jr. isn't actually going to hold food companies to account. If RFK Jr. ever actually tried to hold food companies to account, they would hold a closed-door meeting with him and show him his uncle's assassination from a new camera angle that no one's ever seen before in all the media investigations that have been conducted, and then he will drop that policy. It's a very large industry.